All right, folks, welcome on back here to wrap things up for this week, Friday, April 16th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting for all of us live inside Cyber Group. I know that you folks can hear me loud and clear, including Lori, Alex, Skip, Kathleen, Jean, Ken, Michael. For all of us in social media, I believe that we're good to go. And I made sure that I'm unmuted this time, like I have just at least since Monday. Nonetheless, though, hey, heading into the afternoon, really, TIRX is the only thing outside of crypto that's really keeping me awake. We ended up seeing the markets pull back after the morning pop, but afterwards it's just been like a snooze fest. Really flat across the Dow and the S&P. I guess you could say it was like kind of trending down a bit lower, but never ended up like really continuing. At least up until 2 o'clock, we saw a small little bounce here. But hey, for the afternoon here, I want to start with the TIRX. It's definitely the most active equity that we have going into the afternoon. I'd say this and then perhaps one other. We'll jump to that next, the CLOV, but this on the way up, for as much as this stock took a beating back from Monday of last week or Monday this week. So I'm trying to get my days right. Monday or Tuesday this week. This day is the 12th, Monday, the 12th. So we ended up seeing the stock make this historic landslide, 85, 86%. Now, we've seen stocks get beat up like that in the past. It's not that often, but we've seen it probably a couple times a month, really. But there was no news on this stock. There was no news report across Benzinga that day, across the whole remainder of the week. We didn't really follow it as much going into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Probably one or two call outs off a potential squeeze up like this, but just kept dumping off. So for right now, since the market opened up, obviously ended up making a big breakout and pop. I know that Fausto's in this on a swing trade. We just got off a quick call, and he's in from 1375, if I'm not mistaken, he told me. So, hey, for right now, he's treating that as a swing trade, not as a day trade. So he's doing it on a much smaller share size. And if it pulls back, he'll probably, report back to us in the trading room if he got out or not. But nonetheless, he has no reason to right now. For as much as this stock took a beating just from Monday of this week, this is what you would call a dead cat bounce. Short squeeze. I don't really think. Based on the volatility and the percentage of the move, yeah, you can say it's similar to that, but I don't know how shorted this stock really is. The short interest. This certainly just based on the bad news or whatever it was that led to this drop back from Monday. It's making a dead cat bounce. It's making that same type of short-lived squeeze up. And for right now, definitely going to put this on our main list, the TIRX. All right. So with that, folks, I want to jump to the other one here, really. I guess that was the CLOV. I know that Jeff was making coin on the short. I know that Andrea, I think, and Ken were on this trade too. Ken just picking up 33 cents himself. What was your entry, Ken? 863. Ken just got in at 863, closed out right before we started this meeting. Hey, we'll see if it keeps going. It reminds me of the INO trade just from yesterday at this point, right? Just really a quick flashback to INO. They're not related to each other whatsoever, just in the sense of the move. This was more pre-market, popped in pre-market, looked great. And then, prior to 9 o'clock, started dumping off already. I shorted this leading into the open. Took a little while to get the gears going, but we got the short off, and we could have held on to that thing all day. It's very similar here with the CLOV stock. This one ended up breaking out after the market opened, but ended up beginning to retrace, and it's just still it's riding down pretty nicely off the highs. Now, we are familiar with this stock. We ended up trading this back was it maybe like a week ago, or pretty much just about 9th, the 8th. Yeah. So last week, it ended up making that same type of move. I believe that CLOV is a little bit more heavily shorted. I know that's a new ticker, a SPAC, but I think it's been long enough, and I think it's just been shortable for a bit here. But nonetheless, we ended up seeing this make a nice short squeeze, dead cat bounce. You can call it either way, just back from last week. Same type of move this morning, ended up breaking out nicely from roughly 750, squeezed up 2.5 points. Doesn't get much better. Top, made the false breakout from 10. You would expect for a stock that moved up as much as it did across the hour and a half, 2 hours that it did. At what point does it begin to pull back, or where does it pull back from? It's going to pull back from a really important level, a really big volume-based level. I would think, just shooting from the hip here, that 10, not just a round number, but a decade number here too. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all of those we find to be even more significant or important or typically historical. It looks like, you could just even go back, let's see, Damn, it doesn't get really that much better, folks. I mean, just dating back to November, this stock ended up kind of holding off around 10 before it took off here. But yeah, I mean, for right now, heading into the close, it's smooth sailing on the way down still. It started to accelerate off the highs once again. So, maybe you get one more shake down to 8, and then you see where it goes. But definitely CLOV, just based on the volatility either way. All right, Ken says, I love these shorts. Don't let anyone tell you different. Yeah, that's right, Ken. All right, so with that, let's just go right from top to bottom. I'm going to talk about crypto here at the very end of this meeting, just show, Bitcoin, see where we're at. We're not really focused on Riot or Mara or CAN or EBON as much now at this point. We were focused on EBON earlier today, and we'll probably get to that just across the gainers list here. GFN, this looks like a buyout to me. Not going to check, but for right now. MTSL. So to go over this one really quickly, folks, we're not going to watch this for the afternoon. But really quickly, because I had a trader that ended up getting in a small little rut on this stock from earlier this morning. They sent me their journal. I'm going to talk to them on the side anyway. But just simply to everybody here, rightfully so, we had every right to put the stock, and reason, I should say, not just right, and reason to put this stock on our watch list heading into the market open. It's cheap, had great spread. It already made such a big move here in pre-market. Hopefully off of news, it could pop higher. But for a stock that was up as much as this was leading into the open, I would just at least expect a pullback right away once the market does open up, and then maybe get the slingshot after. The thing that kind of drove me away from this stock, like really quickly, like right before the open, I realized it pretty soon. Stock was trading like 15 million shares on a 2.5 million share float. And that's before 9:30. Right now, I mean, trading 90 million shares right now at this point. So you would at least believe it's very exhausted. It's not going to make a big move up, not going to make a big move down here. It's not going to be worth our time. But at least at this point here in the morning, when I see this so flat, is it possible it can make a bounce? Yeah, it is. But right out the gate at 9:30, I'm just not going to follow it. Maybe I'll check back in with it at like 9:45, 10 o'clock. But I think there were better opportunities to watch right out the gate, so to say. And once I came back to this stock, I realized based off the big slam below $5, I'm like, oh, that's it. Move on. I didn't waste my time watching this at least. All right, so the TIRX we already talked about, but just still top 4% gainer right now, still up 24%, 22%. STON, not really much going on there. All right, we'll keep it going. BTX, actually, we might just stop here for a split second. This looks pretty interesting. The only thing that's like a little is the order book, pretty spaced out. The spread is like, I mean, you could just say right now it's tight, but the second this order gets filled or this one, it's going to open up pretty damn big. So, it's at the highs right now. It ended up making a pop in the after hours. It almost looks like this huge like pennant's about to burst here across the daily chart. But yeah, for right now, again, it's a Friday, end of the week. Had an all right morning, better than I thought it was going to go. So just no need to watch this, really. If we miss a move on that, it's not the end of the world. LFMD, this one's also at the highs. This one has better liquidity on the book, at least. And for as much as this stock dropped back from like the last month or so, it definitely is piquing my interest more. Ooh, the stock took like a roller coaster move pop from like at the end of the year, calendar year 2020 from like $8-9 as it was already running up, took off all the way towards like 35, 34-ish probably, then dumped all the way back down. Damn, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, for right now, LFMD, I don't mind adding this to our list here. If we have a lot better stocks on top of this, then maybe even scratch it off. We'll see. We'll come back to it. But for right now, I'll make the cut. RFP. All right, here's EBON. We'll talk about EBON pretty quickly. This one, pretty interesting. Wow, I missed the pop-up to 5 just earlier going into 2 o'clock. Huh. So I was watching this earlier. We were all trading it earlier. I ended up missing this move myself. So when I say we all, I should say a lot of us inside Cyber Group. I think Fausto is in this himself. I was following a couple of other trades. So once this popped from the opening print at 437, I just thought it was going to make a very lackluster move later on. So I knew that once I missed the better entry, or not new, I thought once I missed the better entry just to move on. Stock just kept going up, though. Ended up making a really nice push. False broke over 5, though, not just like once or twice, like a few times here. Held under the level, and then once it moved back up here recently, it broke above 5. Hey, a lot of buying coming in off the level. I'll tell you what, right now, it's actually getting pretty damn close back to that level. I'm going to jump on my other screen here. I'm just going to keep an eye on this stock. And mid-meeting, if this thing tries to break out over 5, who knows? Maybe I'll jump in right over 5. We're not going to buy underneath resistance, folks, because although it looks good here, if it ends up going the other way, just to have it stall out right under 5, it's not worth your time. Just look what happened the last few attempts. So just be careful when I say that. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Maybe we'll see what happens. But definitely for right now, at least, so getting back to the list, EBON. Definitely with that in mind, we're going to put this on our list at the least. But, I might enter this mid-meeting, we'll see. Now, I missed Workhorse myself. Fausto ended up doing really well in this trade from earlier this morning. Broke out, shortly after the open. Not much pre-market activity on this. I'm sure it was trading like 100,000 shares, but just very flat. Not much going on otherwise. But, man, ended up making a really nice rally. Made that slingshot type of move off of like 1175. Bounced all the way up towards just about 14. And for right now, it's kind of moving back up here. So, it's trading a lot of volume per minute. We love trading Workhorse when it's more active like this. And it is shortable. So if it craps out the other way, then that could be the opportunity too. So I kind of sold myself on putting this on our list. So yeah, Workhorse will make the cut. We'll see what else we got. NVAX is pretty expensive here. CLOV already talked about. All right, we'll keep it pushing. Alcoa, 14.5 million shares. Spread's probably pretty tight. Yeah. Certainly 52-week high. It's pushing back up towards the high of the day right now, 36.03. Seems like that also could be a really good setup. It hasn't retested 36 since the open, so I'd expect a false break at first, a shake, and then maybe the cleaner move on the retest. So, again, Alcoa, I don't mind slipping this on our list too. $35, $36 stock, but trade this maybe on a half-size position if the price kind of spooks you. Otherwise, it's a nice trade, nice setup up to 30, 36. Just going to skip around right now, folks. Canon, CAN, ended up making a nice new high before and pulled back, so pretty similar. Might have a lot of stocks making a similar move, although I know that, Canon and Workhorse, they're not related to one another. But, nice pop before on the Canon trade. I want to see where the volume came in from. This was right from 1:43 Eastern. I don't know if I'll be able to scroll back on the tape that far. Nah. All right, let's do this. Try and do this the old-fashioned way without tape reading even. Looks like at first it ended up breaking out over, well, that's easy, 1350. Ended up, it hasn't pulled back to 1350 yet, this trade, so it wouldn't shock me to see this drop down to 1350 pretty soon. It's like pretty lackluster right now, not much going on. In fact, it kind of just false broke here and pushed back up. Wouldn't shock me if this breaks down lower to 1350 at first, this can trade. I'll keep this on our side list. I want to see this become a little bit more volatile before I just put this one back on. I like the Workhorse trade a lot more right now. And I like Alcoa more right now, actually, at this point, too. All right, I think that just about does it for me on the gainer side. I'm just kind of skimming through. But otherwise, if there's any other familiar names that you see that's up or down big, anything that's popping right now, otherwise that I just didn't look at or I didn't have the chance to look at, then type it in the chat board. Let me know. Just going to jump over to the losers list here. SQBG. Don't know what the hell happened here. Don't really care because it's not really tradable. So if it was, I'd jump to Benzinga Pro and tell you folks right away. The WHLM, it is down big, but same thing. That one came off of good news yesterday and dumped back down. EBET, new IPO or new direct listing. I don't know what it officially is, but just very new ticker from yesterday. I don't know if it's an IPO or just a direct offering like Coinbase. At TRVN here, it's not going to be good. Geez, bunch of garbage here on the losers list, folks, and that's a Fausto phrase, right? So, if there's anything else, folks, I'll just jump right to the chat boards. Let me know. Up, down, left, right, more than 5%. The market's kind of up today, squeezing back up right now. I'll get to my crypto at the very end. What do we got? From our good friend Mitch Connor from YouTube, we got, did you mention BTX? Well, this is the type of pop that makes us put BTX back on the watch list here. So we were just talking about it before as we were going through, right? This is why we, just ask around, right? I mean, we kind of came to this stock. We came to this stock when, like right here at 236, it was the number, probably like 8% gainer, 9% gainer at the time. We are like, it's like not really doing a whole lot. Maybe we'll check back in with it. And building this big pennant pattern here on the daily chart. Then out of freaking nowhere, bam, we got a huge pop. All right, let me check the news if there's any. I don't know if there's any news that would justify this price action, Mitch. Let's see. BTX, not BTN. That's my dyslexia kicking in. You folks can't see that, but that's on my Benzinga. Got nothing here so far, at least just off this pop. Looks like from yesterday, news came out. All right, so the news came out yesterday on this stock. Company is going to pay $1 million towards acquisition of license for mRNA technology platform to develop blah, 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 blah. All right, so sounds like a great headline. Led to the pop in the after hours yesterday. It took a long time to get going here, but man, it certainly paid off. But I mean, certainly unexpected too at the same time. I mean, that was very shocking to see the sudden burst, out of nowhere. So there might be news on top. I don't know. Just Benzinga doesn't show it yet. But yeah, BTX. Put this on our list. All right, cool. From Tazzy saying PLTR trading at the low of the day right now. If you can get the shares to short, then I'd say that could be an interesting option. But And that's coming from someone that did well in this trade today. I ended up watching this right around 22.80. Ended up getting in pretty quick. Not the biggest trade, but on a half-size position, picked up 18 cents. Did well in this trade yesterday. Or no, maybe the day before. Nonetheless, though, PLTR has treated me well, and good sideless stock. WPRT, any interesting, asks Terry. It's at the high of the day, and it has good liquidity on the book. I like that. It's like it's really lacking momentum, Terry. It's like stock's trading 2,000-3,000 shares per minute, and that's kind of increasing here. So going into this meeting, it was trading like just less than 1,000. That's nothing. So it looks good, and if you're in right now, you're probably up a few cents. Definitely tradable. But, just, again, same thing kind of as PLTR from Taz. Like, this thing needs like a serious kick in the butt to get going. And that's fun. I appreciate you asking me here. I mean, because we need to know, right? Like the more that we kind of ask around for these trades, then, and I'm just one person, right? This is my opinion. So, at least the more we kind of work together as a team and you kind of see the end result of these trades afterwards, then you at least know what's worth it, what's not. Like TAOP, I'm getting a ping from Benzinga, new high of the day alert on TAOP. Like, it's a Friday. It's like, for as much as this stock dropped, that could pique my interest. That would be the only thing that would like kind of pique my interest. Just the range on this trade over the last, few months, but it's like, do I need to put this on our list just yet? Not really. And even that, then hey, if it pops $1, it pops $1. Just for right now, I think that CLOV is a lot better of a day trade here heading into the afternoon than that. I think that Workhorse is as well. I think the TIRX is too. I mean, even though Fausto's in that as a swing trade, again, he's not day trading that. He's on a smaller share size swing trading that. He's in from 1375, but hey, this could still be a great day trade heading into the close. There's still like decent liquidity. It's not like terribly thin just yet. Spreads might get a little wacky. All right, folks. Really quickly, I'm just going to bring up the whole screen. I hope I can. It'll just be easier. Please. There we go. All right. I normally can just do that when I'm there at the office. All right. So let's go over a little crypto just going into the weekend, right? Just going into the weekend here, because obviously I know I've been talking about Bitcoin. I mentioned that I've been in Litecoin, Cardano, and I don't know if you've been following this stupid Dogecoin. This thing, I cannot believe this thing ended up making like a 500% move close to, or actually it did, from 8 cents up to 40 plus cents. It's over 500% move in the last 3 days. I mean, it's a bubble. This thing's going to come back down. So I'm sure a lot of us just heard about this thing or saw it if you've even had your ear to the pulse of the crypto market. But nonetheless, just, I have this up just to show. It's interesting. I'm not in this thing. Back at a penny, I was like seconds away from getting in. My exchange didn't allow me to get in. So I just said, oh, well, I think it's going to dump back down. So it just goes to show that it's crazy to see this thing go from 1 penny up to 30 now. That's just like for kind of just show and tell. Just go right back to my Bitcoin chart here, though, otherwise, because over the last day and a half, it's been breaking higher. Now we're getting another pullback. A little unfortunate. I thought it was going to make a sharper run up, maybe up to like close to 70, I thought. Not right away, but just to keep it holding strong in a trend, and it still is, but this is a bit of a sharper pullback right now over today. Going into the weekend, you could just see, like, I explained this back from I think Tuesday of this week, if not Tuesday, even Monday, but ended up holding the 500 EMA really well, albeit it did make a pretty big shake here. It recovered very sharply. It dipped under and over here. So I'm not really concerned short term at all. I mean, I'm certainly not concerned long term. I think this is going to blast right back up within the next like 5 days. I know that Litecoin ended up making a huge move. This is on an hourly chart. So just over the last 2-3 hours, this thing exploded. Very happy to see that. This is my major bag, Cardano, and it looks like my charts and my lines are still up here, so to say. Was that it? Yeah, I had it logged. That's it. So, yeah, Cardano just ended up breaking over this trend line here off the highs. I thought it was going to make a sharper run. Unfortunately, pulled back. But again, same thing as Bitcoin. Ended up making a short pullback here towards the 200 EMA in orange. It's been holding so well. I think it's just going to slingshot right up within the next 5 days. So if I'm wrong, and we'll see over the next 5 days after that. I just know that long term we're going to be good. We'll check back in with these going into the next week. If there is one crypto that I'm not in, if I was going to put money in, I said this to friends, not to you folks here on social media and in the trading room, but this one here, Chainlink, I've been watching this since like 32, all-time high was right here. So, even if you're not in crypto, even if you're not following crypto and all of that, just note what happens when, a token like this, a stock, of course, that we follow, breaks an all-time high. So I was waiting for this to happen. I'm not in this at all, but I was like kind of saying if I had an extra like, $5,000 or so, whatever, how much to dip in, I would put it in link right here. And since it took a bit, but exploded right away after, I think the best is yet to come on this one. And again, I'm not going to dive into this at all. I'm pretty content with all my positions, but yeah, I'm pretty confident on that too. All right, so there's your little crypto minute taking you into the end of the day, end of the week there. All right, so for all of us on social media, if there's anything else that did not, or if there's anything that I didn't really see that just popped, then let me know. Do one more check around. The Dow is squeezing up really well, up towards like the peak, the first high of the day there off the market open. I guess it still has a bit of a ways to go, but do you have a chart on Theta? I do not, Grant, not right now. Let me see. For you, anything. I will pop this up, though. Let me get this up, though, really quick. I got you. Yeah, I saw Theta make a big move last night, this morning, just recently. Let me see if I can get this up quick, Grant, for you. Not going to do this, after Theta at this point, folks. I want to make sure we're trading equities here in the trading room going into the close. I got to make sure I'm prepped for the EBON stock if that ends up waking up more and popping over 5 again. So that hasn't done much since, although that's definitely on our radar. The Theta trade, Grant, this is it. So after the initial breakout going back into late March, cooled off, rightfully so. That's what I'd expect Dogecoin to do, stupid Dogecoin. But, this thing ended up holding support really well, just like naturally off of what appears to be the price, like 1125, 1130-ish or 1150-ish. And then just right off the 500 EMA, look at that. As smooth as could be. Bounced, and then a few days later, big pop. All right. All right. For anyone in the trading room, if you want to talk about crypto, please private message me on the side. How about that? And for all of us on social media, that's a great segue to sign off. If you've yet to do so, make sure that you like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingyou. Who knows? Maybe a couple of crypto surprises down the line. Who knows? We'll see. But outside of that, if you're interested in joining us otherwise, feel free to join us live inside our trading room. Go right down to the link on the banner below to get started. All right, so for all of us live inside Cyber Group, I will post the picks. I'll be back on the mic just about like 15 or 20 minutes or so. I no coaching going into the afternoon for me, but I'll tell you, I got to refill up on water. I went into this meeting with like no water. It was a bit of a gamble. Paid off, but got to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 15, 20, folks. Take care.